The evening Sarah came home without our car, I knew something had happened. But nothing could have prepared me for what she was about to confess. I was sitting in our old couch, scrolling through my phone when I heard the front door crash open. Sarah stumbled inside, mascara streaking down her cheeks, her entire body shaking like she had been caught in a winter storm. My heart dropped into my stomach. What happened? Are you okay? Where is the car? I asked. Already standing up, already knowing the answer would shatter everything. She collapsed onto the floor, her knees hitting the hardwood. The sound of her filled our tiny apartment. Raw, guttural, the kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep and broken inside a person. Sarah, talk to me. What happened? I knelt beside her, placing my hand on her shoulder. She flinched at my touch. It took nearly 20 minutes before she could form sentences. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely a whisper, each word dripping with horror. I did something terrible, Marcus. Something unforgivable. The way she said it made my blood run cold. I have known Sarah for 6 years, been married to her for 3, and I had never heard that tone in her voice before. I crashed the car, she continued, staring at the wall behind me. On purpose, for the insurance money. But Marcus, there were people on the other car. Time seemed to stop. The hum of our refrigerator became deafening. I couldn't breathe. What do you mean, people? My voice cracked. Her eyes met mine for the first time, and what I saw there wasn't a woman I married. It was someone else entirely. Someone consumed by panic and regret so deeply, it had physically transformed her. A mother and her daughter. They are dead, Marcus. I killed them. I stumbled backward, catching myself on the armrest of the couch. Dead? She killed someone? 2 people? My wife was a murderer. You? You stayed at the scene, right? You called 911? I already knew the answer, but some desperate part of me needed to hear it. She shook her head violently. I ran. I ran away. I left them there. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake her, to demand answers that would make this make sense. But all I could do was stand there frozen, as the life I knew disintegrated around me. This wasn't the first time Sarah had done something impulsive, something reckless. But this was beyond anything I could have imagined. I remember when I first noticed Sarah's impulsive streak. We had been dating for about 8 months when she came home one evening practically vibrating with excitement. I quit my job, she announced, throwing her purse onto the kitchen counter with a flourish. I was in the middle of making dinner, and I nearly dropped the knife I was holding. You? What? I quit! She ran around like a child, her arms spread wide. I'm going to be a professional photographer, travel the world, capture moments, live my truth. Sarah, you don't even own a camera, I said slowly, trying to process what I was hearing. Details, she waved her hand dismissively. I saw this incredible woman on YouTube who travels everywhere, taking photos, and I just thought, why not me? Why am I wasting my life in a cubicle when I could be creating art? I should have seen it then. The warning signs were blazing like neon lights. But I was young, in love, and I admired her energy. I thought it made her interesting, alive in a way most people aren't. That decision nearly destroyed us financially. Without her income, I worked double shifts at the warehouse, coming home with blistered feet and a back that screamed in agony. Sarah's photograph career brought in maybe $200 in a month, good month. Most months, it brought in nothing. But I loved her, and love, I thought, meant supporting her dreams even when they were financially ruining us. I should have paid more attention. I should have recognized that her spontaneity wasn't charming, it was dangerous. The police arrived at our apartment 40 minutes later after Sarah's confession. I hadn't called them. I was still sitting on the floor, trying to comprehend the impossible reality that my wife had killed 2 people and fled the scene. Turns out traffic cameras don't lie. They had traced our license plate within minutes. When the officers knocked, Sarah's entire demeanor changed. The sobbing, broken woman transformed into something feral. She started screaming before they even touched her. "I didn't do it. This is a setup. You can't prove anything." "Madam, we have you on camera," one of the officers said calmly. But Sarah wasn't listening. She fought them like her life depended on it. It took both officers to restrain her, and even then she was thrashing, screaming, accusations that made no sense. As they dragged her toward the door, she locked eyes with me. "Marcus, tell them! Tell them I was with you! Tell them it wasn't me!" I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I just watched as they forced her into the back of the patrol car. Her face pressed against the window. Her screams muffled but still audible from the 3 floors up. The silence after they left was suffocating. The trial was scheduled for 6 weeks later. Those 6 weeks were the longest of my entire life. I took the bus to the courthouse every single day, watching the city pass by through smoked windows, wondering how everything had fallen apart so completely. The first day of trial, Sarah was led into the courtroom in an orange jumpsuit, her wrist cuffed, her hair unwashed and tangled. She looked like a stranger. I tried to catch her eye, offer some small gesture of support, but she stared straight ahead, her jaw clenched, her eyes empty. The prosecutor was methodical, presenting evidence piece by piece. Traffic camera footage, witness testimonies, the forensic report from the crash. The mother's name was Patricia Chen, 52 years old, a kindergarten teacher. Her daughter, Emily, was 19, home from college for the summer. Both died on the impact. Every detail felt like a knife twisting deeper into my chest. Then, on the fourth day of the trial, everything changed. The prosecutor was in the middle of presenting his closing arguments when Sarah suddenly stood up, her chair screeching against the courtroom floor. "This is bullshit," she screamed, her voice echoing off the wood-paneled walls. The judge looked startled. "Miss Caldwell, please sit down." "He is lying," Sarah pointed a trembling finger at the prosecutor. "They are all lying. This whole thing is a conspiracy." Her lawyer jumped up, trying to calm her, but Sarah pushed him away. "You don't understand," now pointing at the judge. "They are in my head, the voices. They have been controlling me. They made me do it." The courtroom erupted into chaos. The judge banged his gavel repeatedly, but Sarah kept screaming, her accusations growing more bizarre and incoherent by the second. "You are all part of it. The prosecutor, the judge, even you," she turned to me, her eyes wild and unfocused. "You wanted this to happen, didn't you, Marcus? You are working with them." Security guards rushed forward, and Sarah fought them with everything she had, fighting and screaming about plots and mind control and shadowy conspiracies. It took 4 people to restrain her. As they dragged her out the courtroom, she was still screaming. "The voices! Can't you hear them? They are trying to destroy me." The judge called an immediate recess. Sarah's lawyer requested a psychiatric evaluation. The prosecution objected, but it was clear to everyone that something was profoundly wrong with Sarah's mental state. 3 weeks later, after extensive psychiatric testing, the judge delivered his ruling, not guilty by reason of insanity. Sarah was committed to Riverside Psychiatric Hospital indefinitely. The first time I visited her at Riverside, I wasn't sure what I would find. The hospital was a sprawling complex of grey buildings surrounded by tall fences. Everything about it felt cold and institutional. Sarah was sitting in the common room when I arrived, staring out the window at nothing in particular. When she saw me, her face brightened just for a moment, and I saw a flicker of the woman I had married. "Marcus," she said softly. I almost like she was surprised I had come. "Hey," I replied, sitting across from the small table. "How are you holding up?" She laughed, but it was a brittle, fragile sound. "Ah, you know, living the dream. We talked for maybe 30 minutes. She seemed relatively lucid, asking about our apartment, about our neighbors, about mundane things that felt surreal given where we are. For those 30 minutes, I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, she could get better, that she could come home. But as the weeks passed, our visits became increasingly difficult. Sarah started asking questions, hard questions. Why didn't you lie for me? She demanded during one visit, her eyes narrowing. What? I was taken back. At the trial, why didn't you tell them I was with you? Why didn't you give me an alibi? Sarah, there were cameras, witnesses. I couldn't. You could have. She snapped. You just didn't want to. You wanted me end up here. That's not true. Isn't it? Her voice rose, attracting the attention of nearby nurse. You never supported me. Not with my photography. Not with anything. You probably celebrated when they dragged me away. Each visit, her paranoia intensified. She started accusing me of being part of the conspiracy against her. She claimed I had orchestrated the entire thing, that I had wanted her committed so I could move on with my life. The final visit happened on a rainy Thursday night. I had brought her favorite cookies from the bakery near our old apartment. She took one of them and threw the bag across the room. You are trying to poison me, she screamed. You are all trying to poison me. Sarah, please, get out, she lunged at me. The nurses had to physically restrain her. As they pulled her away, she was sobbing and screaming my name, her voice raw with anguish and fury. I left the hospital that day, knowing I would never return. The woman I loved was gone. What remained was someone I didn't recognize, someone trapped in a nightmare of her own making. Moving forward wasn't easy. It felt like betrayal. I started by selling everything we owned. The furniture we had picked out together at thrift stores. The TV we had saved up for. The framed photos of us smiling on beaches and restaurants. Frozen moments of happiness that now felt like a lie. With the money, I bought a beat-up Honda Civic from Junkyard for $800. It barely ran, but I spent weeks fixing it up in my neighbor's garage. Replacing the alternator, patching the exhaust, getting the engine to run over without sputtering. Every hour I spent under that hood was an hour I wasn't thinking about Sarah. I couldn't afford our apartment anymore, so I moved into a transitional shelter on the east side of the town. It was humbling, sharing a room with 3 other guys, all of us trying to rebuild our lives from various disasters. But it was temporary, I told myself. Everything was temporary. Months passed. The sharp edges of grief turned into something manageable. It was truly disappeared. I got a better job at a logistic company, saved up enough to rent a studio apartment, started going to therapy. Slowly, I built a new life. But late at night, when the city was quiet and I was alone with my thoughts, I still wondered, could I have done something differently? Could I have saved her? The truth is, I don't know. Some people break in ways that can't be fixed. Some tragedies can't be prevented, no matter how much you love someone. All I know is that the woman I married is gone, and I have to find a way to keep living without her.